Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Real time, real time, real time, real time, real time, real time, Prince Blue. Real time, real time, real time, real time, real time, real time, Prince Blue. Talk that, talk that, talk that, talk that, coach, coach, talk that, talk that, talk that, talk that, talk that, coach, coach, talking entertainment too. Look, we are not the same as you. Look, we don't need a thing, just you. Just make.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? What is up? It is Real Time with Prince Blue, and I hope everybody's doing good out there. No, it's not Thursday, but just like any other time, just like last time with the Saquon Barkley thing, this is an emergency episode, and this one is kind of about, you know, I don't know, man. It's just every time I feel like, I could wait till Thursday to address something, I can't anymore. It used to be one of those things to where I'll be like, well, I'll just wait. But now I figured, I have this platform, I have the ability to go live and talk about things in real time. Why wait? Long as everything is still connected back to the show is the foundation. Thursday is just, you're guaranteed you're gonna get something on Thursday, but it's nothing wrong with doing something in between. And if I'm, I've been blessed to be retired and all this stuff, and I got time, I mean, why not do it? And the reason why I'm firing up this special episode is because of it was one thing and then it turned into two things. Mostly it's the Ryan and Ronald Hinton thing that went down. If you unless in case you were living under a rock, um, that was just a tragedy within itself. The Rodney Hinton and Ryan Hinton. I don't even know if you could call it a tragedy or you could just call it a day ending in Y. It seems like with everything that's going on, every time you turn on, there's just senseless violence that goes down, but it doesn't go down in the blink of an eye. It's really set up by bad decisions. It's set up by a culture of just the doing the wrong thing is easier than doing the right thing. But we see it time after time after time after time that when you do the wrong thing, pretty much again, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And it seems like people are more comfortable more than ever with winning the ultimate stupid prize, which is death. Like I've never seen people in a rush to die. But it's not even about being in a rush to die because I can't be disingenuous. I don't think people really go into certain situations thinking, hey, we gonna die. So here we go. But I do think that people don't think that these situations that they put themselves in, the ultimate prize is death. And if there's a 1% chance, I know I'm being facetious, but if there's a 1% chance that something you do can end in death, why do it? Again, I'm being facetious because technically, yes, can you die doing anything? Yes. But with these things, with stealing, robbing, fighting the police, arguing with the police, running from the police, uh putting your hands on other people, talking reckless to people, just things that it can end it up in a way that nobody wants, people are continuing to do it. And I don't understand it. But let's just talk about it because there's two names I need you to know about. That is Rodney Hinton Jr. and Ryan Hinton. I just want you to know that this story it's not about victimhood. It's about failure, and it's about the collapse of our society, pretty much. Um, what happened to Rodney Hinton Jr. and Ryan Hinton is what happens when pretty much accountability is no longer in vogue. Accountability isn't a trend anymore. Hell, it's not even a thought. And Rodney Hinton, who was the father of Ryan Hinton, I'm just gonna tell you right now, if you're prepared to be upset, I'm gonna tell you that he failed as a father. He failed. He failed as a father. And he abandoned his duty to not only be a father, but he abandoned his duty to walk among the free with his actions after the death of his son. But what bothered me was when people started justifying this incident, the Austin Metcalf, Carmelo Anthony incident. You're starting to justify death and chaos. And I was worried before, but now it's to the point to where nobody can be trusted. I'm going to operate and assume that everybody is out their damn mind and everybody is capable of doing the unthinkable. And I didn't ever want to be in a world where I would think that. I was already jaded and cynic from my time being my time in the military and my time as a police officer. It already had me cynical as hell, but now I'm looking at everybody as an op. I'm looking at everybody as an op. And no, this episode ain't about clickbait or ain't about being sensational or anything like that. I just want to talk about how society and man are failing. We're failing at all the jobs that are most important. That is being fathers, being leaders, and representing a culture that is supposed to ultimately uplift everybody and not live in harmony, not live in utopia, because that will not happen. But at least be able to push the right thing forward and cast the bad things back. But it's been reversed. The bad is being pushed and the good is being villainized. So again, this episode is mainly going to be about Rodney and Ryan Hinton. So for those who don't know, I'm going to play a short video which will give you pretty much a synopsis of what it is I'm going to be talking about in this episode.
Next tonight, authorities in Ohio say the man who allegedly rammed his car into a sheriff's deputy, killing him, did so intentionally. The suspect appearing in court today is the father of an 18-year-old killed in an officer-involved shooting on Thursday. The suspect charged with aggravated murder. Here's ABC's Christiane Cordero.
Tonight, authorities say the shooting of an 18-year-old captured on police body cam is connected to the death of an Ohio deputy after that teen's father allegedly hit him with a car a day later. Prosecutors say the attack was calculated and premeditated. Cincinnati PD responding to reports of a stolen Kia at an apartment building Thursday morning. 4 suspects then fleeing police. Among them, 18-year-old Ryan Hinton. Body camera shows Hinton fall as he tries to run away. Police say they heard a metal clinking sound they believe was a gun.
He's got a gun! He's got a gun! On your right! On your right! He's got a gun!
As Hinton emerges from behind a dumpster, authorities say another officer firing 4 or 5 shots.
The officer says that he saw the suspect point the firearm at him.
Yes.
Just 6 seconds passed between when police arrived and gunshots rang out. Officials say they tried administering medical aid. Hinton was struck twice and died. Investigators saying this gun was recovered from the scene allegedly found in Hinton's possession. On Friday, a day after that shooting and 2 hours after the Hinton family reviewed the body camera footage, according to the family's lawyer, a driver crashing a car into a Hamilton County deputy directing traffic near a commencement ceremony, killing him. The suspect, authorities say, is Ryan Hinton's father, Rodney Hinton Jr. Hinton's attorney calling the officer's death a horrific tragedy. At his first court appearance today, Hinton walked through a room packed with law enforcement. He's now charged with aggravated murder. The Hamilton County Sheriff says the deputy's death was a tremendous loss. Hinton Jr. is currently being held on no bail. His bond hearing scheduled for Tuesday.
Christian Cordero, thank you.
All right, so there you have it. Ryan Hinton was killed during an incident with police. And then a deputy that had absolutely nothing to do with that was then killed by the father of Ryan Hinton. And just to let you know, Rodney Hinton has a GoFundMe that people are trying to get disabled because he's getting money. He's getting all types of support. You have people cheering what he did. You have people saying that he should have gotten more of them on the way out. This is unthinkable violence and chaos. And we are not, I promise you, y'all talking about terrorists, y'all talking about trans issues, y'all talking about all this stuff that from the day to day, it does not matter if we are taking each other out. It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not a Hispanic thing. It's not an Asian thing. It's a human thing. You cannot continue. Well, we cannot continue to be this thoughtless, this cruel, and this violent to one another and think that we're going to somehow be able to flip a switch no matter who is sitting in the office. Because I'm going to tell you what, it doesn't matter who's in the office. It doesn't matter who's sitting at the mayor's desk, at the senator's desk, at the governor's desk, at the House of Representatives desk. The people on the ground, the day-to-day, you and I, if we're out here eliminating each other, it's not going to matter. I do not feel bad for Rodney Hinton losing his son. You know why? You know why? Because his decisions ultimately led to his son losing his life. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm big on accountability. I got big, broad ass shoulders because I'm always going to take the blame. If my son goes out here and does something awful, I failed him. Point blank, period. They are, your children are extensions of you. Don't give me that, well, when they're grown, you know, they do this, they do that, they're on their own. No. I don't care what you say. Your environment has a lot to do with who you are as a person. Whether that be externally, internally, whichever one, pick one. My son is not in a stolen Kia. My son does not have a loaded weapon on his person. My son is not running from the cops. You know why? Because my son knows that he's not to get into anybody's vehicle that doesn't belong to that person or himself. There's no such thing as a joyride with my son. I always tell my son, if it's more than one person in that car, don't get in that car. These are things that we have to teach our kids. You have to have a better sense of your surroundings. Getting in a stolen car and then jumping out and running from the police with a weapon in your person. I mean, you're just asking for it. We were playing baseball. That's strike one, strike two, strike three, and Ryan Hinton is out of here. Because Rodney Hinton didn't put the necessary, I don't know what you want to call it, the necessary thought process or the necessary, even if it's the fear in Ryan to know that when you do things like this, there's you have two options, death or jail. And he got option number one or number two, whichever one you want to put it. And then Rodney lost his son. You want to call it grief? Let's do it. You want to call it grieving? Let's do it. Watches the video, the body cam footage of him losing his son, leaves, gets in his car, goes to a commencement, and kills a deputy that had nothing to do with his son's death. Now you tell me, where does that inherent need of violence comes from Ryan? Because guess what? If you're not a violent person, you don't need a gun. I believe that violent tendencies, just like alcoholism, just like drug abuse, I believe all that stuff's hereditary. I believe that stuff's generational. And then you mix in a bad environment, that makes it worse. Dare I say that Ryan was a chip off the old block? We got to talk about it. For all accounts, from what I was reading, Mr. Hinton doesn't have he didn't have a felony up until this point. He did have one charge where it was assault, but he was sentenced to probation and he was told to stay away from the victims. And then he had this. They're charging him with aggravated murder. And there's some reports out there that they're going to seek the death penalty. So there's no Ryan, and there's about to be no Rodney. That's just as simple as that. I got a question. If you're not a violent person, then you don't need a gun. Then why do cops carry guns? Come on, Bo. You're better than that. You know why cops carry guns? Because the Ryan Hintons of the world carry guns. This ain't St. Thomas where guns are not accessible. So to have a gun is like it's like finding oil. Like when I went to St. Thomas, the police don't carry guns because it's a gun is just it's not in the culture. And just because you're a police officer, it doesn't mean you're violent. It means that you will defend yourself. You will get violent if you need to, but that's the reason why police have to go through all these de-escalation tactics. They have to go through all these. They have to really assess when to use force, how much force, if it's enough force, if it's too much force. You have to go through all this. You can't just go out here and be violent. And those that are out here and just being violent and breaking policies and things of that nature, they need to be punished. Unlike the Memphis Five, who 3 of them got cleared on state charges, but still got convicted on federal charges. I'm gonna get into that later. That's crazy. But police in the United States absolutely need guns. And they need to know that at any given time, they're going to have to possibly use that gun. And they can't be afraid to do it. But they have to make sure that when they do use it, that they're responsible for the aftermath of using it. And they're responsible for explaining their actions. And being in fear for your life is not good anymore. Because now you get you got people that just use that for anything. I want to talk a little bit about this culture that we have cultivated when it comes to this pushing of degeneracy, this pushing of chaos, this pushing of when you're wrong. I'm not gonna say you're wrong because I don't want to feel I want to be on the side of what's popular and what's trending. And right now it's so popular to hate the police, to think that they're pigs, to think that everybody should get theirs, blah 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 blah. But I'm telling you, as a police officer, you're not going to win. Rodney Hinton, he's probably going to have to be watched. You don't take out cops and think that you're going to be okay. That's just the way it is. Killing a cop is one of the worst things that you can do. Because these are people that sacrifice their lives daily for low pay, scrutiny over everything that they do, poor health, some of them, poor mental health, and they're out here. Do you know how it feels to know that every time you put on a uniform or every time you go to work, you may not return? And no, let's not be weird about it. I can lose my life going to my job too. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about signing up for you to lose your life every day. Every day. Every time you go to work, it's like when you kiss your kids, when you hug your wife, when you say bye to your significant other, when you close the door to your home, that might be the last time you walk into your home. I don't think y'all understand what that's like. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to wake up in a hospital and have the chaplain and your wife and your captain standing over you crying, and you're looking at them like, first of all, why are y'all here and why are y'all crying? I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be hit by a drunk driver and almost losing his life. I know what it's like to have a gun pointed at him in the line of duty and having to take somebody out. I know what that's like. So I'm not talking from a position of like I'm just talking out of my rear. No, been there, done that. Who here in this chat has had a gun pointed at them? Who here on this show has had to shoot somebody who pointed a gun at them? Who here has almost lost their life getting hit by a drunk driver while on duty? Who here has had multiple injuries fighting suspects? Me. So I can give you some insight on what it takes to be a police officer. And for all the people that think that they could do this job, they could do it better. Why didn't he shoot him? I saw a comment where somebody was like, why didn't he shoot him in the leg when he came from behind the dumpster? First of all, this isn't lethal weapon. You can't just be shooting people in legs. And officers aren't trained to shoot in the leg. Officers are trained to eliminate the threat. And I have to say this again. A lot of you didn't go to anatomy class or you failed it. What is in the leg? The femoral artery. You hit that, it's a wrap. So all this shooting in the leg and shooting in the thigh muscles and shooting off the ground, and then you could bend bullets. The movie Wanted, it doesn't work like that in real life, people. Police officers have a split second to make a decision that people on the outside have till the end of time, the Monday morning quarterback. But police wouldn't have to make these decisions if the people they encounter make better decisions. Not stealing Kias, not having weapons, not running from the cops. That's what needs to happen. These are some really, really weird times where people are proactive in taking lives versus like just assessing situations and figuring shit out. Like my man didn't even fathom that his son had a lot to do with why he's no longer here. He just went and took out another police officer. And then had the open defiance and the smugness to stare at police officers as he walked back to his cell. I'm telling y'all, that's just pure evil. Like you gotta know that what you did was wrong, right? You gotta know that wasn't the move. Look, I can't talk to you about losing a child. I can't. But I can tell you this. My son won't be in a Kia. A stolen Kia. My son won't have a gun. My son is not running from the cops. And if he is, people that know me know how I am. I'm big on accountability. If my son out here making those type of mistakes, I love you. I'm going to support you, but I'm not going to condone what you're doing. There's a difference between supporting and condoning. I'm not going to be out here saying, well, you know, they could have shot my son in the leg and all that stuff. That's crazy. I want to tell my son he had no business being in that damn situation. He needs to be watched because cops are human beings too. These are their brothers, they're their sisters, the corrections officers, all that stuff. We're not going to sit here and be disingenuous. They have ways. Also, you think the people in prison don't have family members that are cops and police officers? I got news for y'all. Everybody that's in prison don't hate cops. Just like in prison, if you mess with kids, they will check you even if they don't have kids. So that's why Rodney needs to be watched. This stuff is not a game. Not every police officer is going to be professional enough or have the mental capacity to handle what just happened. They lost a brother too. I wish y'all would put some of the same emphasis on Rodney making bad mistakes that y'all trying to make on these police officers. I'm not condoning retaliation from the cops. I'm saying that they need to be smart about it. And when I say they need to be smart, I mean that Rodney and his team need to be smart about it. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Bo's on one this morning.
I actually grew up with Bo. Went to elementary with him.
He's on one this morning.
Yeah, but you know, I don't care about none of that. I said what I said. I mean, am I being disingenuous when I talk about retaliation?
Oh no. That's how we got here because the father retaliated.
Thank you.
That's how we got here. So.
It's a cycle, and that's what I'm saying. We need to stop this, but it's not going to stop. It's just it's not, especially when you got to understand, as police officer, you spend more time with your brothers and sisters more than your family. So when you see one get taken out like that, not everybody's going to be like, well, I hope the animal sees his day in court and blah, 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 blah.
Okay, I think with this particular topic of conversation, when you talk about retaliation, I think what people really need to understand is that we see this happen more often than not. It doesn't make it right. So this father retaliating against a cop that had nothing to do with it is even more asinine. It's not like it was the cop that shot his son. It was just literally another cop. So this mentality is not healthy for anyone because it never ends well. So now you have a father whose son is gone, who's now lost his freedom. He has no bond, and could potentially lose his own life. For what? For what?
A stolen Kia.
Okay. Nothing changes now. Now, instead of us focusing on your son losing his life, focusing on if or not letting the investigation play out to see what happened, if this cop was right or wrong, the focus is now on you. Your son's legacy is now the father who killed a cop who had nothing to do with the situation. So now we just get to retaliate against whomever and whatever we want. That's what our world's come to now.
Obviously.
And you were right. You were talking about being accountable. Let's have some accountability. Your son's driving around in a stolen vehicle.
with a gun,
Okay.
allegedly.
Well, what do you think's gonna happen? How old was the kid again?
18.
Oh, so he shouldn't even had a handgun.
But when you bring up accountability and when you bring up these things, you're wrong. You're insensitive. You're condoning it.
Insensitive to what though, exactly?
I don't know.
I don't know what type of emotions or feelings we should have on speculation. Right? We just watched how many cops get off for killing a black man. Beating him like a dog, kicking him in the street. Innocent.
He was calling for his mama. A grown man was calling for his mom as 5 police officers beat him within an inch of his life to only go to jail and lose his life a couple days later.
Yeah.
Not guilty through the state, but they gonna hang on to they got the federal charges.
I just want to give a shout out to Pat. Pat, you be with us. You be rocking hard with us. You know
Yeah,
what?
Pat
Shout
rocks
out
with it. Shout
to
out
Pat. We need to send you a t-shirt, Pat.
Shout
Reach out to
Pat.
us. Reach out to us. You can reach me on Insta or TikTok or wherever you at. I don't have Facebook. I know you came in on Facebook on another time, but I don't have that. But find one of us, AJ, Prince, me. Find us, and we gonna send you it. You be rocking with it. We gonna send you something.
We gonna take
Okay, I just have one question, Pat. When you say he waited till the area was clear, are we talking about the dad? Is that who is Pat's referring to? Is that the
I
dad that
think
waited till the
so.
area? Well, I'm going to say this about premeditation. Anytime you plot and you plan, it's premeditated. So if you take the time to think the process through, if you think the time to say, I'm going to go here, I'm going to find whichever cop, that's all premeditated. He's being charged with aggravated murder.
Aggravated murder.
Okay, so aggravated murder, I'm actually surprised they didn't, but I think that's the lesser accounts as opposed to like first degree, right? Like
No,
intentional.
in Ohio, it said
Is
death.
that
Yeah, they're looking for their reports are they want the death penalty.
now? I don't know that they will get the death
I
penalty.
don't think they will either.
That's stiff. If he has good defense counsel, they'll argue his mental state, losing a
Right.
child to the police,
Mhm.
so all of that will play a factor. But I mean, it is premeditated. He thought it through. He didn't just like wake up and accidentally like fall asleep at the wheel and hit a cop. I mean,
He left viewing the footage.
Yeah.
He went and found him a cop. Took him out. I don't. Let me ask you this. And why is this? We've talked about this offline, but why is society so backwards now to where the uncouth and the degenerates are the ones that's getting the loudest support versus the people that are doing the right things and doing what they have to do? They're quote unquote getting pushed back. It's like, well, what do you want, a cookie for being good? You want a cookie for being a degenerate? So I don't understand. Like, what's happening?
Justifications of bad behavior, right? So if you can find any reason to be an awful human, this is the culture we're living in. So reality is no longer reality. So what's good is bad and what's bad is good. So everything is based and driven on feelings. I feel this way, I think this way, therefore I can. So that's why now you're seeing criminals being honored. That's why you're seeing racists raising $1 million. You see what I'm saying? Like it's all in reverse. It's all in reverse. And the louder you are, the more ignorant people become, right? So then I feel like a lot of stuff is done for attention. If you really think about how much attention you get for just being incredibly egregious, why wouldn't you? If you can call a kid a nigger and then get $1 million,
Right.
we'll forget about you in 5 minutes. You see what I'm saying? So you're at the height right now, and then you'll go away. So it's just the society, unfortunately, that we live in right now. It's just the world we're living in. people clap for the underdog. Maybe that's what we should call them. They're cheering for the underdog. Go, dummy.
Go murderer. Go mass murderer.
Yeah. So and people that's why there's always these documentaries on serial killers. There's like people are fascinated.
Movies.
Yeah, by the sick mind.
They made Dahmer a heartthrob.
Well, think about even like let's just think about the movie Saw, right?
Yeah. Tina.
Think about okay, we won't talk about her. But if you think about all of those series of Saw, right? I think I maybe seen one, maybe two. I don't even know if I've seen them in their entirety because it's the same thing. Somebody's demented mind is thinking about this. Somebody has thought about doing this. Law-abiding citizen. It's another example of vigilante, revenge. Is that okay? This man took out how many people to because he didn't like the way the case was handled when his wife and his daughter was killed. So at the end, he ended up burning to death, like in a prison cell. Like,
Yes,
you know what I So I think that ultimately people need to think through this process, right? Like, none of us can say what it would be like if somebody harmed our child. None of us can say what our reaction would be if somebody did something egregious to our child. But whatever you do, there is a consequence. And I think that's how you have to view it.
Yeah.
Consequences.
I just like when you heard the story, because at first, of course, the misinformation was going out. I thought, and this may be because I'm sick, I'm thinking, oh shit, he took the cop out that really, parents always say if somebody do something to mine, I'm coming to get you. So I'm thinking, damn, somebody really did that shit. And then when I found out, they was like, wait a minute, no. It was somebody else. I was like, now wait a minute. You telling me he went and took out somebody else? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, shh.
Well, if you notice too, it's the celebration right now of the blacks responding.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reality, right? So the kid who stabbed the other kid at a track meet, people are celebrating it. The dad runs over a cop because his kid was killed by the cops. People are celebrating it. It's the blacks celebrating. I said it. I don't care if people don't like it, but it's the truth. We like to celebrate ignorance.
Is that even a win to celebrate?
No.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. So what are we celebrating?
You know what's interesting? Where are the people who are not protesting these cops being found guilty? Why are they not burning down cities?
Oh,
Where's Al Sharpton?
Oh, he's still at Costco.
Is he still at the Met?
Yes.
Like, I'm being honest. Like, these black cops killed a black man, innocent.
It doesn't hit the same when it's us against each other.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
But it's cops. I thought they didn't like cops. And this cop killed a black person. So what's the difference? What's the difference between those cops and this cop that this just happened to? What's the difference?
I mean,
what? Am I missing something? Do they not carry badges? Are they not all cops?
You're missing the melanation of the situation. Bad. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, because we got footage. They beat that man within an inch of his life. Like footage. It's not like, how sometimes we would just see pictures and we'd be like, man, what did they do to him? We saw it. Not a peep.
Why are we not getting a statue for that young man?
Nope. Not a peep. And the chief was a black woman. No. Listen.
Okay. No, I need some understanding. I need some understanding why this kid doesn't have a statue. I need some understanding of why this kid didn't get like a gold casket. I need some understanding of why millions of dollars weren't raised. I need some understanding because when George Floyd died by the hands of a cop, y'all was on it.
BLM, where you at?
This kid died by the hands of what? 5 cops.
Scorpion unit.
5. What happened? What happened? His life wasn't relevant enough? Because it doesn't fit your narrative and the propaganda and the clickbait of the bullshit? Where you at? So I don't want to hear about revenge. I don't want to hear about this father was right. I don't want to hear about any of it. This father had no right to kill an innocent person. I don't care if he's a cop or not.
I this. I wonder if he's knowing him. He probably got a little narcissism in him. You think he's even going to plead, or he's going to take this to
No,
trial?
you don't take it to trial. He might plead. He might plead out after he has some time to calm
This is
down.
because come on, like, can you imagine this trial? It's going to be a shit sandwich.
What do you say? I'm just throwing this out. If he lost his control that quick, I'm wondering if he didn't abuse his wife. I said, oh,
Well,
I
didn't
will
see
say this.
anything. Let me look it
People,
up. Go ahead.
I could say this. Yeah, you look that up. People who are short fused, nothing can pass them, right? So people who can get angry and snap that fast, there's always some underlining situation. But again, I always say men should be studied. Testosterone is real and they don't really study it enough. Remember I talked
Mhm.
about it. The rage that men have, and when they don't learn to control emotion and process emotion, it just comes out so toxic and so horrible. And Pat, I'm sorry you went through that. I'm thankful we weren't friends at the time because it might not have ended well for your ex.
Let's see. Hinton pleaded guilty to assault and aggravated menacing in Middletown Municipal Court in 2023. He was sentenced to 1 year probation in order to have no contact with the victims. And previously, he shared a lot of posts about police brutality on his social media.
Who did he beat up?
It doesn't say, and he said
Oh,
he
okay.
just ordered to
So
have
we
no contact with the victims.
okay. So we don't
Don't
know
know
who
who
the
the
victims
victims
were.
were.
So he obviously has a temper.
Mhm.
He's obviously prone to violence. And that's just the time that he was caught. Charges were pressed. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I know AJ had a live yesterday and there was this guy going on and on about the police and the government and COVID. And I mean, he was wrapping it all into it, right? And I think it's interesting people's mentality and people's thought process and people's acceptance of this behavior. Because if your loved one was that cop that was innocently killed, I promise you, you would think different. His behavior is no different than the person that gets behind the wheel after drinking and then drives. So I will never stand and be okay with someone taking the life of an innocent person. I mean, what would that say about us as humans? But that's where our world has come. And we're also seeing that it's only politicized and it's only when it's the white against the black.
Mm-hmm.
I know you said earlier you were going to talk about the 5
Oh
cops.
yeah. I want to know, did the ghost of Johnny Cochran represent these cops? 'Cause I'm trying to figure out how they did not. How were they found not guilty?
Same way the situation with Rodney King.
So, a jury of your peers. I'm trying to. I didn't see.
They went like 5 counties over to get this jury, and I think they were all white. And if these cops had been white, they would have all been guilty. Let's keep it a buck. Let's be honest. They would have all been guilty. But it's obvious and apparent that it's okay if we kill each other. It's just not okay when the white man does it. I said it out loud. Quote me. It's okay when we kill each other. It's not okay when the white man kills each other. 5 cops beat this man. He didn't have no weapon. They
He was
beat this
handcuffed.
man. They beat this man. And we ain't got nothing to say. But every time a black person has been killed by a white person, a white cop, everybody's up in arms. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's raising money. Everybody. So this right now, I don't want to hear shit when you talk about, oh, black people don't get the same treatment in court. No, 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 no. Let's be really clear, you sons of bitches who are on your race horse running down the street naked. Running down the street naked. You, I'm talking to you. It's cool when we do it. It's a problem when they do it. Y'all should be embarrassed by your behavior. You guys should be embarrassed that you come out on any platform, on anywhere, speaking out, cheering this father on, but you're not speaking on these 5 cops who just walked for murder. They murdered that man in the street. They took his life. How many stories can we bring back? The white cop that supposedly was tasing, remember the one kid, and then shot him. Floyd. I mean, we could bring back all the stories of white cops who've done crazy things.
Zimmerman. Well, he wasn't white, but I guess he was. I guess it counts. What's the one in what was the one in St. Louis? Was that Michael Brown?
I don't
It
remember,
was just
probably.
it's just so man.
But if we think about how many that we've seen and who've been brought to light, but this story literally was hot for what, 5 minutes?
Went away.
Then it went cold. And now no one's even talking about the fact that these asshats were found innocent.
Nope.
And then they have these lesser charges at the federal court, which mean nothing. And they'll probably be found guilty of those, just, bad.
Well, we can't let y'all completely walk, but y'all ain't getting what people want. So
why not though? I don't understand. I don't even know how that happened. And it's over. There's nothing anybody can do.
No.
You can't bring it back. You can't talk about it. You can't appeal it. You can't do nothing. It's over. They're innocent of murder. Guess they joined the likes of AJ. I mean,
what?
AJ, Lord Jesus. OJ. Of OJ. That's what he gets for not being here. Sorry, AJ.
Oh,
if you're listening, I love you. Okay, moving on.
I was like, wait a minute, but damn, it's been an hour already. All right, so
okay.
Hey, I love emergency episodes, quick and to the point. But any final words, Inked?
My final words are Negroes need to get their whole life together. Okay? Don't allow your children to be reckless in the streets and think that something cannot happen. And judging by the attitude of this father, I'm sure that his son had that same cocky, I am, King Kong attitude as well. And let's raise our children to be more respectful. Let's raise our children to be smarter. Let's raise our children to understand that we probably shouldn't be driving around in stolen cars carrying pistols, allegedly. Let's do better by our children. Let's want more for our children. And let's understand, as though you guys say that the world is stacked against us, therefore we should give them no reason to stack on top of us. Oh, and when blacks kill blacks, you might want to get upset. Because if you don't, I don't care about when the whites do it either.
And just to let everybody know, Real Time will not be here this Thursday. I will be back next week. But I'm glad I was able to give you this emergency episode on this Ryan and Rodney Hinton information and the Memphis 5 Scorpion unit fiasco. And I'm going to do special episodes like this more often. But I just felt like I just needed to address this because people kept asking. You can't be like, well, wait till Thursday. It's like, just fire it up and just tell them now. So that's what I did. And I second what Ink said. We need to get our shit together. We need to stop condoning the worst of the worst. And maybe, just maybe, we can put a dent in the way all this stuff is going down right now. So with that being said, everybody be careful, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and I will see y'all when I see y'all. Check you later.
Pat, hit me up.
Peace.
Come through. Yeah, 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 yeah.